Goblins, welcome back. I'm out riding on the wicked Kawasaki ZH2, and I'll tell you what, this motorcycle is absolutely jam-packed full of electronic techie features, as I've kind of explained and gone over in other videos in the past. But perhaps one of the neatest features is the cruise control. And this is actually the first time I've ever had a motorcycle to have cruise control. But I mean, is it something really necessary on motorcycles? And over the year and a half that I've owned this motorcycle, well, how much really have I used the cruise control? So that's exactly what I'm going to discuss in today's video on this lovely spring day here in the UK. So let's jump on and let's find out. Woo! Yeah, cruise control, Goblins, cruise control. I will say that cruise control is an absolute lifesaver when it comes to long journeys in a car. So you can kind of understand why cruise control is such a kind of staple feature these days in most modern cars. Right, come on, up we go. There we go. But I mean, it is true that a lot of modern motorcycles these days are also getting the cruise control treatment as part of standard tech packages these days. So I mean, for those of you that don't know, I mean, I'm sure this is going to work very similarly to most motorcycles with cruise control. But on the ZH2, we've got this button here. So you push that button, that activates the cruise control. So I've got a little light there up on the dashboard, and I've got a little symbol at the top there. And then all that I do is see that there's a set button there. So depending on the speed that I'm going, I just hit that button, and it sets to 30 miles an hour or whatever speed I decided to set it. So it is fairly straightforward, and turning it off is just as easy as well. So let's get up to, I don't know, some kind of cruising speed here. And by the way, this works in any gear as well. Okay, so 27 mile an hour is what it is set to. It says there set. All right, now if I want to increase the speed, then I can hit this up button here. I mean, it's got the reset button there, but I can also add speed as well. So I just hold that button down, and the motorcycle gradually increases in speed. So now it's at 31 miles an hour, might be 32 miles an hour. But then turning it off, you can either pull in the brake, pull in the front brake, or pull in the rear. Well, I'll tell you what, I've not actually tried with pushing down the rear brake before. Let's try that. Yep, works with the rear brake as well. I mean, as you'd expect. Let's set it again. So what is it set to this time? 30? 29, 30? And as well, I mean, that's a couple of ways you can turn it off. You can also turn it off by pressing the button as well. That turns it off. But one other neat way that I actually use quite a lot if I'm ever using cruise control is twisting the throttle forward. So doing kind of this motion. So ready? Here we go. I'll twist it forward. And there we go. So it's a little bit like a little bit of give. So after the throttle is totally closed, there's a bit of give right at the very end, and that is what allows you to turn off the cruise control as well. So I'll demonstrate that one more time. So going down this road here, I've set it to, I don't know, 33 or so. Then I'm going to twist the throttle forward this way, boom, and then off comes the cruise control. And I mean, when it is set, it's green there like that, and then obviously when it's off, it goes grey. And I mean, it remembers as well, so if you hit reset, I think. Oh no, okay, so that resets the cruise control speed that you had before. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. Because in a lot of cruise control systems in cars, of course, they have a kind of like resume speed, don't they? So if you disable the cruise control for a second, or you hit the brake or something like that, then you can press a button and it brings you back up to that speed. And I mean, in my wife's old car, the Honda Civic, the cruise control in that was quite good. It was quite cool, because the biggest issue that I found with cruise control in both bikes and cars, for that matter, is the fact that that you have to turn off the cruise control if you are approaching a car in front of you or something like that. But in my wife's Honda Civic, 2017 Honda Civic, that you didn't have to do that. It would automatically pick up the car that was in front of you, and it would automatically start slowing itself down, and it would continue cruising. It would continue cruising at the rate that the car in front of you is going. So again, you could just literally turn it on and leave it. Now, of course, motorcycles haven't got that far yet. The cruise control isn't that smart, and there's no cameras to be found on motorcycles at the moment, I don't think, from memory. I don't think there's any motorcycles out there that have got kind of cameras that can do that kind of thing. But I mean, that could happen in the near future. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that did come around, or especially on touring bikes and things like that. It kind of makes a bit more sense on touring bikes than anything else. But is it pointless? Because in a lot of respects, I mean, it's totally different to cruise control in a car, where... Ooh, Aussies. Take it easy for them. Yeah, it's a little bit different in a car, where if you're travelling long journeys and you are trying to have to keep the throttle open with your foot over a lengthy period of time, then that can start to ache. So you turn on the cruise control and you can just rest your throttle foot. So that does make quite a lot of sense. But on a motorcycle, I mean, you know, I can just quite easily just keep the throttle open at a certain point that I want it. So I mean, I don't know, we're here at 33 miles an hour. Let's see if I can keep it there. So, you know, but it's not a strain on my hand, especially because this throttle is electronic, so it doesn't have a physical wire that is opening up the throttle. It's totally electronic, so it's really lightweight to begin with. It's not a hassle trying to pull the thing back. But so that's what I mean. Like, it's fairly, it doesn't increase kind of like the comfort of the bike if you have to keep your hand, or you know, if you're able to take your hand off the throttle. To be honest, it doesn't increase the comfort of the bike, and the ZH2 already is a very, very comfortable motorcycle to ride. So it's you know, it does kind of beg the question that it's a bit of a pointless feature, really. You know, it doesn't increase the comfort. It doesn't really do anything apart from maybe if you were on a longer journey and you didn't want to worry about the speed that you were doing, then I don't know, maybe. But even then, you still have to kind of adjust your speed as you went, just because traffic in front of you. If there's a car or something, or a truck or a lorry that is in front of you that is traveling slower than you are, then of course you're going to have to come off the cruise control and adjust your speed or overtake or something like that. So it's not like as if you can just set it and forget it, like in my wife's Honda Civic. So I don't know, is it pointless? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not a feature that I use very often, because I'm not doing a lot of longer journeys anyway. So that's probably the most useful scenario for the cruise control, is for when you're doing longer journeys. And for me, it's a difficult feature to justify from my personal riding, for my personal use case. But that's not to say that it is useless for everybody. And to be fair, a lot of people do find it very useful, not just for longer journeys, but they also find it useful when they're going through speed-controlled areas. So when you know that there's an average speed check in a local area of yours or on a motorway, or even if you just simply want to have that peace of mind that you're not going to be going over the speed limit, you don't want to get caught speeding, then, well, it's a simple case of turning on a switch, setting the speed that you want, and away you go. So it really isn't a difficult thing to do, and you can do it really quickly, and you can, again, kind of set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about what speed you're doing. So it really does kind of make sense from that point of view, for that use case. I don't know, again though, I don't use it for that. I just use it most of the time for convenience more than anything else. So no, it's not actually one of those things that I use even for that. But I'll tell you what, let's turn it on, let's set it, and let's see how much we're able to use it just going down this country road here. So I'm gonna pop it in fifth. Alright, set to 41 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour, okay. So let's just set it like that and just see how it goes. See if I feel the need to turn it off at any point down this road or what. Let's just see. But it's really funny because there's a lot of features on the ZH2 that I don't use a lot. I mean, the launch control, I don't use that, and I mean, I don't know anyone who would use the launch control unless they're on a track, but you wouldn't really want to track this motorcycle. Oh, I should have gone down that road. Oh well. In fact, I might turn around and go up there, so I'll have to turn off the cruise control for that, but you'll have to excuse me for a moment there. But yeah, so launch control, don't really use it. Traction control on this motorcycle is very, very useful. And I mean, I'd recommend having traction control on pretty much all the time, just because the power can be quite unruly and it can be difficult to control if you're not careful. If you've got a throttle hand that isn't, doesn't play ball a lot, then yeah, you may want to have that on more often than not. I do most of the time. I mean, I do turn it off every once in a while if I want that kind of, I don't know, if I want to have a bit more of a fruity experience on the ZH2. Sod it. We're going down this way already. I might as well keep going, right? Sheep. Man, that's the thing, isn't it? These features, they might not be all that useful for everyday riding, but they are useful for when you want them on those niche occasions. Like, I don't know, if you did want to take the ZH2 on a track day, then yeah, things like the launch control would probably be really, really useful. In fact, a lot of the electronic features would probably be quite useful. You've got the lean angle control as well. And on the ZH2 SE model as well, you've got the electronically adjustable suspension. So again, really, really useful for those track day environments. But so I would prefer to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. It's that age old thing. Yeah, I definitely love having these features, and I'm quite a techie guy. I work in IT. I'm a network engineer and things like that. I build my own computers, so I am quite an enthusiast when it comes to technology as well and how it gets implemented. So for me, this kind of thing is, even if I don't use it, is really, really cool to me. I get a sense of satisfaction that I've got a motorcycle that can do this stuff. Like the TFT Dash. I mean, it's the first time ever that I've had a full color TFT Dash on a motorcycle, and honestly, this is the future. Every motorcycle should have a TFT Dash now. Every modern motorcycle, every motorcycle past 2018, really, 2019, should have a full color TFT Dash. I don't know why some bikes don't. I mean, you can kind of understand why on a lot of cheaper models, just because it's cheaper to manufacture, isn't it, without the screen. But then again, screens are becoming a lot cheaper. Waterproof screens are becoming cheaper as well. So, I mean, we've already started seeing it in the Duke 390 from KTM, that they already have a TFT Dash standard on those. So yeah, it is getting rolled out to cheaper motorcycles. But yeah, I mean, because I ride the ZZR, it's not one of those things that I kind of miss that much, having an analog speedo and rev counter. It's not something that I miss, but at the same time, I do prefer the clarity, and I do prefer the functionality of a TFT Dash. Everything is so easy to see, and because you know how it is when you've got an analog dial, sometimes you can get confused with the numbers. They think you're doing 50 when actually you're doing 60, things like that. So it can be a bit hit and miss sometimes, but with this, it's really readable, it's really easy to see, and so it's not really anything that you need to worry about. I would have to worry about it as much. And I mean, that might just be an issue with myself because my eyesight isn't that great, but even if you're looking at a speed camera's coming up and you just look down quickly at the dashboard and look back up again, you might confuse a couple of numbers. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But the TFT display on this thing, I think, is certainly one of the most, again, useful features that I've got on this motorcycle. Arguably the most useful feature, kind of modern feature of a motorcycle for me is that TFT Dash. So yeah, I can go no hands, woo, no hands. Definitely wouldn't recommend doing that. But to be fair, it's quite stable. And look, I'm actually able to turn the bike as well, just using my thighs. But no, I wouldn't recommend doing that. No, that's, before I get myself in trouble, let's keep my hands on the handlebar, shall we? Yeah. I mean, after doing this, I spent about 5-10 minutes or so just using the cruise control. I actually think there's a feature I should use more, especially whilst I'm out on rides. So I think I've definitely learned that being out today. So no, I mean, I don't think it is a useless feature, and like I kind of mentioned earlier on with the other tech features, it's something I would like to have even if I don't need it, you know. Have it just in case, have it even if it's not needed, but not need it if I don't have it. Or whatever the saying is, you know, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Have it for when I need it, or rather not have it for when I, yeah, oh god, I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought now. I'm getting hungry. It's getting a bit late in the day and I'm getting hungry. But no, I honestly, just to kind of conclude this video, I don't think it's a useless feature, and I do actually think that more motorcycles should have it in future, especially bikes like these, where going 100 mile an hour is actually one of those things that's surprisingly easy to do on some of these modern motorcycles with 200 horsepower or so. And bikes are only getting quicker. So yeah, it certainly makes sense to have these fine-tuned controls or fine-tooth controls that you have at your disposal for when you're going down roads like these and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I think they're well worth it. I mean, I suppose we could kind of move on to whether or not it's worth it as a tech package. So let's say, for example, you're looking to buy a motorcycle, but you don't get cruise control as standard. It's part of some additional tech package, which I imagine is something that BMW would do, because that's what BMW are like. So don't buy BMW, kids. Is it worth it then? In that scenario, that it would really depend on you as a rider, what the kind of riding that you would do. If you're going to do longer journeys, if it's a touring bike, then yes, I definitely recommend having it. But for everyday riding, if you're just going to be commuting to work and you're not really going to be doing many longer journeys, and you know, it's not exactly some, wow, what a giant pothole, holy S word, god, that pothole was bad, isn't it? Jesus, man, don't the council fix the roads down here, or what? They just leave them to degrade until we've got nothing left. Another one. Oh, damn. Imagine, because I was over that side of the road as well, hovering over to lane 1. Imagine if I'd gone over that pothole, man. I would have gone over the damn handlebars. Jesus Christ. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, in that scenario, no, I wouldn't recommend buying it as an extra on a brand new motorcycle if that's the kind of riding that you are doing. If you're just doing everyday commuting, like the kind of riding that I like to do more often than not, no, it's not something that I would buy myself for me personally. But every one of us is different, and again, if you are even more of a techie person than me and you don't mind, you got the extra cash to spend, then yeah, why not? Why not? Interesting, I didn't know that, but that sign there says that motorcycles can use the bus lane. How fascinating. Well, technically I can use the bus lane on a motorcycle. Wow. Okay. Haven't seen that before. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. I'm not sure exactly how long this one has been today. I think it's been a fairly short one, but no, I honestly, if you've got two models of motorcycle, one has got cruise control, one doesn't, I doubt that the price difference is going to be that extravagant or that much different. So I think it is worth it, especially for kind of future proofing and that kind of thing. It's definitely worth having it. So yeah, if you have the choice and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg between the two, then just go for the one with cruise control. It is worth it. For me, it is worth it. Even though on those, more often than not, I don't use it, I still think it is a worthwhile investment anyway. And that's the thing, a lot of motorcycles these days, they have it as standard. So you can't really complain too much, even if you don't use it that much. But yeah, for those niche occasions where I am going on a slightly longer journey, or I am doing motorway journey, something like that, then it's a godsend. It really is. But yeah, thank you again ever so much for joining me today and watching all the way to the end of the video. Definitely go and check out the video we've got coming up on the end screen. And let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is cruise control something that you use a lot, or is it something that you very rarely use? Yeah, definitely let me know down in the comment section below, and about any other tech features that a lot of modern motorcycles seem to have. Leave a like, hit subscribe. I will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.